Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying that if if I was actually knowing for sure that I was in a relationship, a two-sided relationship where we both mutually cared for each other, what kinds of things would I do to be affectionate if the person wasn't here? Well, I can talk to them on the camera as if I care and know that, like, a person, they're Mr. Tiny! A person who cares about you wants to see your face, wants to know how you're doing, is interested in what you got going on, and that's pretty much it. So really, whatever you do, you take you it's trying to get these words out. You assume the position or the mentality that I have a person who cares about me, and I want to um, you know, engage, and so this is something that I can do. Um, and that's affectionate. It's very affectionate because how do you feel? I check on the internet for seeing if Ren will communicate with me or write me or let me know what he's working on or all kinds of things like that every single day, and I still haven't been able to break out of the belief or break out of the habit. And I still have this belief that it's him, but that checking is not doing me very much good, but I can still take steps to show that I care, and this is one way to do it. And also to figure out ways to keep myself talking and communicating is healthy for myself. And it's also healthy for myself, I think, to be able to explain different things that I'm doing around here, even though it might be simple and he already knows or whatever. I'm still going to do it. So what I'm doing today is this is gonna give you a lot of insight into how I am about things. It's very strange how I have this ability to like tune out some of the things that bother me and then fixate on other things that, when I say tune out, I mean ignore, like around my house, because it's like I know that it bothers me that I'm not super cleanly, but I kind of slack off in that because I live with a bunch of animals. But there's like, I don't always want to have to be in that kind of life of having a house that kind of disgusts me. So that's one reason why I want to get into air purification, to get the debris from the animals sucked out of here and make sure that I'm getting plenty of oxygen to my lungs. That's clean air. So that's one thing that I want to do. How can I get the cleanest air in my house as possible? That's on my list. Is something I would like to learn how to do. On top of the fact I need to get better at keeping up with dusting and keeping things wiped down and all of that. But the amount of dog hair that I sweep up every once in a while is kind of large. So that's one thing on my list. That's something I want to learn how to do. That's an example of something I'm able to ignore because it's like it's something I want to do, but it's on the back burner as to getting around to it, because finishing the construction is priority, because I need to get that organization down first. So I just kind of will tune out that I'm bothered by that so that I can get on about enjoying and being satisfied with other things that I can put my effort into. So here's an example of something that bothers me. So this is what it looks like when you can see that there's divots in the edges of the concrete, and then that squiggly stuff is carpet glue. So when I was walking on some of these vinyl floor planks before, I would feel it sort of shift under my feet, and sometimes I would feel something squishy under there, and I knew that it bothered me every time I stepped on a floor plank that did that. And so it gave me the desire to want to take these up and fill in the divots and make sure that the floor was clean underneath there. Now, if I did not live with animals, I would, and if I had a place to get away from the fumes, I would definitely not be doing vinyl floor planks. I would just smooth down the concrete where it's polished enough where I could just leave the concrete floors as is. And I could always think about doing tile, but the fact of the matter is I live with a bunch of animals, and so that's one thing that I've had to use as a skill building thing, to look at the grateful aspects of why that circumstance has made me stronger in my ability to work on my mindset about things. And it really has. Like, I think that if you get to a place where you're overly particular about things, which I do have the tendency to be, that you have a difficulty tolerating places where you're not have it everything like you want it to be. And so with the animals, that teaches me, I used to say that they taught me a lot about what I would think about living with children, because it's like you don't want to be the type of person that is so particular that you've created an environment in your home that's not warm and caring. And that's how you can get, if you get overly particular about tidiness or having everything in a certain spot and those kinds of things. So there's an aspect of myself that appreciates. Now I'm just reminding you how I live. I've got scattered things around here anyway, but there's an aspect of myself that appreciates the fact that I can tune out things and find gratitude in it and reasons why it's good for my character development. Because it's not just about that you're getting yourself together. I'm going to pull these back for a minute. It's not just about that you're getting yourself together and you're like, okay, so one of my big aspirations is to be an organizational guru, and I like to say that because it's like something that I have always kind of struggled with. And so I have to remind myself of how certain things that I'm currently in the midst of are good for me to look at the benefits of both sides about how I am. And so that's kind of what I do, because I think when you're evaluating the quality of your life, if you're creating thoughts where you're totally dissatisfied with yourself and you can't look at yourself to extract all the valuable things that you're able to do with how you function and what your purposes are, you don't want to put that negativity on yourself. You have to figure out ways to appreciate yourself for the way that you're currently made, and also recognize that you do need to improve, but there's a lot of things that you should feel good about yourself that you're in the midst of. So that's a little bit about myself. Now, let's see. As far as like thinking about the wedding clothes and this idea coming back around, I'm not really into it all that much. If I come up with an idea that I like, I'll jot it down, but it's like, it's not anything enjoyable to feel like you're doing that all by yourself. I mean, you kind of want to have a loving experience with a person who actually cares about it as much as you do. So it's like, I don't know how you could get yourself that much into it. I'm thinking about guests or who would come to this party. I have nobody really that I want to do that in front of. Like, just imagining it, like anybody that I know being there watching me like have like those kind of romantic feelings for somebody does not seem like something that I want to do, and I don't really feel close to anybody in my life anymore. And so it's just not really that appealing to me to think about all that much. It's like, if your wedding list is like maybe my parents, but you're like, my parents, I don't know that I would want them to be watching me be in love. It's like, and so I kind of feel like that about anybody. It's like, I don't think that I'm all that into that. I would like the experience of it, but then I started dwelling on the thoughts of going somewhere on a honeymoon, and I'm like, I just don't know if I care about that, like anything more than just being intimate with the person that I care about. Like, what difference does it make really where we go, or what difference does it make like how we do our wedding ceremony? I mean, it's really just about us, and for it to be like a big spectacle that people watch, I find that thinking about that, just, I don't like it. I mean, I don't want to watch anybody do that, so I guess I don't really like the idea of anybody watching me do that. So that is how I feel about that. Now, of course, I still like the idea of having dancing and a dress and having vows and all of those things. But as far as everybody, observing me do that, I don't really like the idea that much. It's like, being in love is such a personal experience, and I don't know about making a big show out of that. I don't know. I want it to feel good to myself, not be something that becomes something where I feel like I'm detached from who I actually am. So that's my feelings about that. What else am I? Today I'm going to be working on putting this. Okay, what I'm doing is this is called concrete patch. Now that will take care of these divots, and then I smooth that down. I'll try to get it as smooth as I can with the little spatula so that I don't have a bunch of concrete dust around here. And then first we're going to do the carpet glue, and then after I do all those things, I'm going to get back to painting. I've already done painting videos, so I probably will cut off the camera by the time that I get that far. What else? I heard some Christmas music today, and I even feel kind of turned off about Christmas music a little bit. It's like, I know that, maybe that's a natural part of life where you're like, I don't know if I'm really into this, and that's kind of like how it is, like how you might have used to be into reading books or something like that when you were younger, and then you got to a point where you could write whatever you wanted for yourself. And so that's preferable, because if you write things for yourself about that are actually instructions that and thought and feelings and everything that you actually have, it's so much more personal and able to be more fulfilling. Of course, there's things that you will study, that I will study, that I don't know about, but a lot of things, once you learn it, you don't have to go back and study it ever again. So it's just kind of like, that library up here always is growing. Let's see. Anything else that you would like to discuss? Kissing, you gotta be here for me to experience that with you, okay? That's not anything that I could discuss. The kissing is something you do, not something you talk about. I need my gloves on my hands. So I still haven't, like, I'm gonna reiterate, I still haven't been able to drop the idea that there's not something going on between us, and that everything that we've been working on is gonna work out. Okay, I haven't been able to drop that idea. I don't know how to drop that idea, really. So it's sometimes I feel like, you know, wanting that closeness with you so much and wondering about that, and then having to recognize that no matter how much I want that I have to still be fruitful and productive here instead of letting that consume me. And so that's how I turn my mind around, but I can still do things that show that I care every day. And that's what I'm doing here. Now when we get done with painting the room, I've got some ceiling that I need to work on. But when we get done painting the room, there's still the little bit of pegboard and everything I need to do with the sewing cabinet. And then you can see the reason why that I pulled these floors up is because this is from where this end of this wall is right here. This whole area is going to be the new pantry. Okay, so I will be needing to have this concrete moved out of the way. I mean, not the concrete, this concrete up, because I'm going to be nailing pressure treated wood down to the floor for the bottom part of the cabinet, and also to hold up our posts and everything, where I'm going to build the header across for the doors. But I am going to show all that on video camera, so I'm not going to explain it too much before I do it. Now on this area in the back, towards the top of the ceiling, I plan on putting bar lights or cabinet lights across the back. I have a box of switch cords which I can use to plug in and just have that, or I can I don't really want to install a light switch, so either I'll get a kind of light that has like the switch on the cord, or I will get a regular light fixture and just do a lamp cord instead of hardwiring it into the line. Okay, now let's get started. I'm just gonna let you show me I'm gonna just let you see me work. Let me get my gloves on wherever I put them. Mr. Tiny has joined us in here. He is the most most attached to me out of all of the dogs. Now, that was another thing that I wanted to discuss. You know, a dog loves you 24 hours a day, always loves you. And when you see dogs sulk every once in a while when you're preoccupied with other things, it can make you feel sad. But then I also have to think about myself too. I can get into a place where I'm sulking because I want to be loved on, and I have to be able to get myself out of that funk as well. So I understand the dog's mentality, but it's like, oh, I wish I could show them the kind of love that they feel so good about more often. But it's like I can't, because there's other things I have to do, and so that's just how it is. When a being loves you, it definitely loves you. It loves you, that it wakes up that way and it goes to bed that way. That's how they all are. So we'll move that down here. Now I've been searching around for my little hand broom, and I am not seeing it anywhere, so I'm just going to have to use the big broom to sweep all this up afterwards. So sometimes being affectionate is simply imagining how you would appreciate somebody being affectionate towards you, and that's what works for trying to make some kind of anything, whatever it is that you do. Dull. Okay, I have two of those things. So I'll show you how to change out a razor blade. Just unscrew it. And see, I keep a lot of my things in pencil boxes. It's also something I was going to bring up. This is a box cutter, which I use sometimes to trim down drywall and other things I try to shave down. Now this is a hook blade, and I have these because that's what you use when you're on the roof and you need to trim down a shingle. Okay, so there's a little bit more information for you. So this is an X-Acto knife.
Hello, Moto.
And that's my phone ringing, which nobody. That's just like, I wish that would stop, because it's just a robot. No real person ever calls me on a telephone. I mean, very rarely. Very rarely. So. You can ask me why I don't call anybody, and I would be like, what exactly, I mean, why? Okay? It's like, I don't know why you would call somebody if you're not going to hang out together, and if people don't like to do the same kinds of things that you like to do, why are you going to call them? I don't, you know, it becomes a weird thing when you're like, well, what reason do I have to make phone calls? I would feel kind of weird if somebody just called me out of the blue and decided to tell me about everything that they wanted to do or that they did with their day, because I'm not a part of their day. So, I don't know. I don't know. Like, there was I've thought about how I thought just did that. See, I'm like, oh, cover that up. Okay, so that's like an excess, like I have here. Okay, that's from my big weight loss. I don't know if that will ever go away. It seems like, with my stomach, and I'm just showing a little bit, like it has, like, from lifting weights, it has gone way down, but it's not my priority to like try and go get that trimmed off or anything like that. It's just that circumstance happened. It's over with now. I need to be appreciative of my good health and my strength and other things, and I'm not gonna expect anybody to love me for being a beauty queen, because I'm not. My priority is not to do those kinds of things to myself. My priority is to be in a loving relationship, and also I would still have that hope that I can experience pregnancy and childbirth, and so it's just not important for me to think about doing that. It's just not. I don't think that a person who loved me would say that they didn't want to be with me because my body is not as great as it can be, because there's something that happens, I think, when you recognize that whatever has occurred was not really your fault, but you dealt with it the best way that you could deal with it. You took responsibility to get yourself in shape. You took responsibility to get yourself off the medication. You took responsibility to eat as best you could to keep yourself healthy, and that's the best you can do. I do not have. Okay, let me talk about this real quick. I do not have the experience of seeing a good-looking man and being like, just because he looks good, that means that I'm attracted to him. Because I can't, like, I don't have that within me to be attracted to anybody who I don't know anything about. And that takes getting to know somebody's heart, and it's really like, so if I turn that around back towards myself, like it's just not gonna be worth it to base trying to be loved on how you look. Totally. I mean, you be thankful for the body you got and take the best good care of it as you can, and hope that somebody likes to look at you. But I mean, that's just, I don't know, man. Everybody ages and everything else, and that's how it is, man. That's how it is. Okay. I could talk about that, pretty much anything that comes up to my mind. We can discuss it as I'm doing these things. see, man. I don't know I don't even know if it should be called counseling or it should just be like called, I'm trying to open myself up so that I can have a companion to start a life, a family and a life with. Hopefully, maybe even be able to start a business, but it's like, I don't know. I'm not necessarily always wanting to fix everything. I just think that, figuring out how to be at your best, functionality and productivity is a good thing. Now, as far as what I said about roofing, I'm going to do this so I can look at myself also. As far as I said about roofing and having an aspiration to be able to do my own roof eventually, I still think the symbolism and the strength building from doing that exercise is something that makes me feel good to think that I can accomplish that because of what I said about how everything that you decide to teach yourself how to do, instead of trying to find someone that you can pay or do it for you, is removing the holiness of your brain, because you have spots anywhere in your brain, gaps, holes, whatever you want to call it, any place that you haven't learned how to do something, and you haven't had no exposure to it. So I like to think about that when I think about agriculture and applying that to the roofing concept. If my brain were a roof and I decided to pay somebody to put on the roof for me and I had no access to see anything that they did to build that roof or what they came up with, I wouldn't be getting around with my functionality and purpose and ambition and drive and having the know-how to kind of chart my course because I didn't do the work. And so that's how I get excited about these things, whenever I'm just taking a concept and applying it to some construction idea. Anytime you feel so confused because you don't know what's going on, it's because you have had no exposure to it and you don't know how it works. You expose yourself to it, you learn how it works, and then all of a sudden you feel like you've actually, it gives you a sense of like strength and liveliness and the ability to do something with your life. Even if you don't know how these things are gonna unfold and grow and all of that, you know that every time you decide to learn something new, it changes your world continuously. It changes your world continuously. And that's a good feeling. And it is a good feeling whenever you are able to accomplish going up in the amount of weight you can lift, or increasing the amount of intensity that you can go on a cardio, or being able to dance like you've never danced before because you're practicing it. Any of those things, they feel good. And that's what it's called, to enjoy your God-given body. let me tell you about how I've been fantasizing about you, and I'll present this talk um, as if I'm talking to you. So when I think about what you said, when you said that you were going to buy a house, and you supposedly said that you were moving in this week or the last week, and so I'm imagining that that's what you're up to right now. So what I keep thinking about is how this, like, weaving through the past and the future together as to what we've done together. I'm imagining you getting a house and doing some of the things similar to what I've done, and like taking it apart and making it how you want it to be, and creating a space in your area as I get this area finished up, and in my imagination that we're like, I would like it where we ended up together with this plan unfolding the way it is, and then with you having the ideas for Slaughterhouse, which I assume that both of our stuff is like coming together in such a way. But it's like, I don't necessarily know, because I haven't heard from you, so I don't know if like we're at the end of something or we're at the beginning of something. But it's a nice thought when I think of it going like the way that in my head it would be going, like you're pulling stuff from over here and then stuff's gonna end up over there, and it's just the beginning of our family together. I don't know if I can explain it better than that. I kind of visualize it a lot in my head as to what you're doing over there, but I honestly have no idea. It's my continuous thinking about being able to do the family thing. And it's not just about the family thing. It's like, I want to experience a loving relationship with you. And I just don't know where that's headed. So that's my thoughts on that. So I'm trying not to like just, treat you as somebody to wear some kind of clothes that I create for you about what I want for myself. I want to actually know you and the things that you care about, and I feel like it's time that we get closer to each other in some kind of way, because there isn't much left of all of that old stuff to go over anymore. There's just not. Like, I know that I said the other day that I felt repelled about what I had seen with the concert, and that's because of how I feel about monogamy and all of these things. Like, it's very, I go up and down about thinking about the goodness or the uncomfortableness of it all of the time. It doesn't stay the same feeling all of the time. And so that's how it is. Would you like to see Mr. Tiny over here? Here he is. He's perched himself up there. There you are, Mr. Tiny. See how he stares at me. Oh, poor boy. Come here, Mr. Tiny. Do you need help getting down? Looks like you do. Alright, so there he is. There you go, Mr. Tiny. Do not get your mouth near that, you're gonna be, no. Okay, you go back over here. Over. There you go. Okay, so this is what it looks like to apply concrete patch. So how do you talk to people? Is it any different than the way that you would talk to yourself? I think that you learn to talk to people better when you try and think about how you would like to be talked to. Okay? That doesn't mean that you can talk to everybody like yourself because of the factor of you don't want to be intimate with everybody. It's just not appropriate. But on the computer, to think of it like that, I am talking to you as if somebody that you are somebody that I care about, who I might be building a life with, and I'm trying to come up with ways to show you that. Okay? That's what I'm doing. Will it work out? We shall see. He says it will work out. But, like I said, in many, many things I've written, you have the opportunity to say, I shall love you today, every day, and you need to think of how you're going to do that. Because who it was, somebody, I'm pretty sure I know who it was, said that love is more than a feeling. Well, I'm going to rephrase it. Love is more than a feeling. Love is a verb. And a verb means that you need to take action to show that you care about whoever you care about. And that's what morality is about. Okay? It is being able to figure out how to be loving in such a way that you feel like you're a worthy human being. Because if you feel like you've got something off about the way that you're able to get involved in care and affection, it's not a good feeling to be in that position. And it's difficult because you don't have the ability to know exactly how to be with people that you are unfamiliar with. And you can't, like, everybody cannot be treated in the same kind of way, because intimate relationships can't be shared. That intimacy is meant for your spouse, and you can't be intimate with everybody like that. It's just not appropriate. So what do you do, like, whenever you encounter people who are being affectionate that you don't want to be intimate with like that? That's like, those are things that, like, I don't know how to differentiate between, because if you don't really depend on having friendships anymore, because you can, it just doesn't feel like the right thing to do because of the desire for intimacy, then I don't know how I just don't know what you do. I don't really know what you do. It's like you just have to be able to find one person in the whole entire world and be able to form this special kind of relationship with, and then everything else in your life has to be kept at a distance. It's a strange predicament. It is definitely a strange predicament. There's so many, I don't know how many times I've said, this is just not appropriate. That is just not appropriate. I try not to question too much of myself being put on the internet, because I don't know what choice I have. It's either me, like, hole up in here and close off, or I better find some way to open up, and so the internet is my way to do that. Although it's not like I want, like, some big audience from it. I do not. I definitely do not. I want a one-person relationship. So, but I don't know about many things, because, like, thinking about family or thinking about career or any of those other aspects, you're gonna have to be involved with people. I just don't know if you have your business taken care of as far as self-care goes. I don't know how you get involved with people. What do you do? This is the big issue, because of what has because of human sexuality. Human sexuality makes many relationships seem like you don't need to be crossing some lines, like anything that people make as personal choices, like what they eat, like what they do with their time, all of those kinds of things that a person might do. It kind of might seem like you're prying into a place you don't need to be if you want to be friends with somebody. It's like, that's really your business. I have my own self sorted out, what I like to do and what I think is good for myself. I don't know about crossing over into how you need to be able to figure out how to take care of yourself. So I don't really exactly know where I'm headed with having a business. It's a strange thing to think about what lines that you should not cross with a person, because that's what being in your own body with your own ability to make choices for yourself is. It's like, it's my body, and I make the choices that I need to make based on my life experience about how to take care of myself, and I have that freedom. So that, I think, is what is called being an individual. I wonder if that's what Ren was talking about. Ren, I'm talking to you. Whenever he said, for those of it, people who are living half lives, I don't know what he meant by that, but I guess it meant like thinking that you need somebody else involved in your self care when you don't. And maybe that's another symbolism of him going to get his own house. Like, he understands that. And there's probably a lot of things that he understands that we haven't talked about together. But I still can't like just drop the idea of what I think that I would like to do with my life. I don't know how you could just base your life upon getting only good at your own self-care. You're gonna have to grow into something bigger than that. I just don't know exactly how you do that. I guess these realizations come from me like not wanting to take in some information from people when it comes to how I take care of myself. Whenever I see something like that on the internet, it's like my self-care is not a two-person project. I'm here by myself, and so it's like I'm not on the internet trying to help you figure out your self-care. So it's just like I don't necessarily think that is a good idea, because you have no idea how that person who wants to talk to you is actually doing with their own life. I don't really think that's appropriate. I had this discussion before about what it was that Headless Horseman, and that's when like you've outsourced what you need to learn how to do for yourself to somebody who has no connection to yourself in your day-to-day functioning. They don't live with you, they don't know you, and they don't know what your choices are for your body, or what your body's health is, or any of these things. So you can't be just like taking anybody's suggestions as valid when you don't have any of the information about like why they think that they're doing so well that they need to tell you how you should be doing. You don't know. And especially like somebody would have to be very, very good at demonstrating why their methods were so good that you would want to adopt any of their practices. Now, you can always try anything that you want to try and see how it works for yourself, but that is an issue of wanting to know how you decide what kind of person would you listen to who was giving out that kind of information. Okay, I finished that. We've got the carpet glue off. We've got our divots filled, and that we had a somewhat long talk, and that's my loving gesture for today, and hopefully that the relationship is going to improve. I can assume that if you care about me and you want to know more about me, these things are valuable to you, and you're appreciative of me making these videos for you. Okay? So, I hope to hear more back from you. Even though I am involved in a lot of things that I need to finish up, I still want to get to know you. That's the whole purpose of these activities, Rin. So any kind of response would be very much valued. To say, that's how you develop truth between two people. Here's what I got on my mind. What do you got on your mind? Am I accurate about these things that I'm trying to do, or what I'm hoping to do? What is your stance on it? Help me, know more about what you think and feel. Appreciate you, babe. Babe, babe, babe.